Welcome to the Beyond Bitcoin Whaletank. Our Whaletank hangouts start every Friday at 3 p.m. Universal Time. Be sure to follow the Beyond Bitcoin tag on Steemit, as well as our hangout host Official Fuzzy for the latest Whaletank updates. To participate in the discussion, simply find a weekly Whaletank RSVP post and RSVP with a topic or proposal in the comments. Whale shares create synergy between BitShares and Steem by rewarding developers and helpful community members. The Whaletank has already distributed over $70,000 in upvotes during its first month. You can also create and trade your own cryptographically secure whale tokens and get an automatic seat in the Whale Council. Whale shares work for the chain based on votes by the community. If you're interested in becoming a founding member of the Whale Council, let us know by sending an email to beyondbitcoin@gmail.com with the subject Whale Council. Be on the lookout for our new forums coming soon.
Welcome everyone to another Beyond Bitcoin Hangout. Today is Friday, July 28th, 2017, and today is Hangout 217, and we're in the middle of a beta metamorphosis kind of position into the Whaletank, where whales and whale reps on Steemit can begin backing a token on the BitShares DEX using the WhaleShares platform, and they can use those tokens to now give them out to upvote people with the content that they produce on the Steemit blockchain. So you can now get paid with a BitShares by using a BitShares token that a whale has sponsored and backed with their own Steem power and their own voting power. And in addition, you can get trending status so other whales and other people are more likely to see your content on this absolutely perfect crypto funnel for the masses. So with that said, we join up every week to talk about, in the Whaletank, various projects that have connections to the crypto community, but we love to focus on people with their own token. And I have a bias towards people who have tokens on the BitShares exchange. I might not be the only whale. I might be the only whale who feels this way in the future, but I am one of the whales who feels this way. I love to see a token that is on our DEX. I believe that Dash is on our DEX. I believe that Ethereum is on our DEX. So it's not against those tokens, but I love to see people creating tokens on the BitShares DEX. So I have a bias toward that, and people who join up, they get to give the value proposition for their coins, potentially share drop tokens onto the people who attend these hangouts, like Custom Miner of Gridcoin did last week, distribute approximately $500 worth of Gridcoin to our community and to people who signed the guest book at these hangouts. And he won Beyond Bits, 1,000 Beyond Bits last week. There's a chance for one person who joins these hangouts with their own coin to earn 1,000 Beyond Bits, which is approximately $1,000 at present value. So if you are interested in creating your own coin and to get it seen by a community that is ahead of the game in terms of what a blockchain can do, then you should probably consider joining the Whaletank. And if you're a whale, you should probably consider having a whale coin and joining the Whaletank, or having someone like Walrus, who's here today, as the whale rep, who is helping us to manage tokens for the WhaleShares community and many community activities. And because of that, he is a trusted member who backs and represents the WhaleShares token in these hangouts. So he might have his own value proposition. Now, with that said, I'll go ahead and I'll give Walrus a couple seconds to say if there's any value propositions that he would like to bring in. But before I do that, I'm going to talk really quick about the people who have signed up this week. The people who have signed up this week, first one is Robin Hood and his token Looking for Nishkel. And then we're going to cap off this hangout with Ride of Passion, and he has a token called Voice Share. Now, with that said, these hangouts have cheat codes that I've kind of called power-ups, but nonetheless, they are a way of making it so if you want to power up your project and to get a bonus, like for instance, we have the ability for you to increase the amount of voting that you receive. So if you post a link to your token to prove that you have a token on the BitShares DEX, within your reply below on the RSVP thread, you automatically will double the vote amount that you get in terms of terms of order of precedence. So if you want to go first, the likelihood is that you're going to have a higher chance than anybody else if you have a token of your own with a value proposition you're bringing, and you can prove that you have it on the decks. And second is another power-up. You get extra time that you can buy by share dropping on the attendees of these hangouts. If the community likes your token and doesn't reject it, you can potentially get up to an extra 10 minutes to talk about your token and have longer and more content, more detailed content for that specific hangout. And each week, the final power-up is that after the hangout, I will tell people who I think is going to be the winner. And they can tell me that they can make a deal with their token to me to try to change my opinion with regard to who will get 1,000 Beyond Bid tokens. So these are my power-up rules in here. But other whales will eventually have their own. I will ask them to post their own Whaletank hangout posts, RSVP posts, because there might be people who want to talk to a specific whale as well. So there's going to be a lot of things that grow from this. But this is the direction we're going, and we're trying to incentivize those who create a token to not be afraid to try it out, to figure it out, and to tell people their journey on it. Because you can tell about your journey on it and get paid if you're doing something that interests people. And regardless of whether it interests people the first time, one thing that does interest people is persistence. So always stick at it. And with that said, I thank everyone for joining today. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, the Crazy GM, you're going to be next, but I want to talk real quick and let Walrus step up and say if there's anything that he would like to say as far as the Whale Shares token as a whale rep.
What are you asking me to do?
If there's anything that you would like to add on to, like, what I'm doing as far as the Beyond Bid and the power up, if there's anything that you would say,
nicer than me.
Well, as a whale rep, you will have some tokens to distribute to projects that are here if you are interested in. I would say just let people know what interests you, that you might be willing to, just anything.
I'll make it up.
Okay, fair enough. Well, with that said, go ahead, GM, and I'll step back, and you can talk a little bit about GM bits.
And a hush falls over the crowd.
Looks like the Crazy GM is not here. Crazy GM, you will get downvoted. So I'm sorry you will not be making the money that you did post today. I hate to do this to people, but if you do have an RSVP, I cannot reward you if you do not show up. Nothing against you. It's just how we have to go. Virtual Growth, you are up next. Would you like to talk a little bit about what's going on? Okay, you will get downvoted too. Rite of Passion. Step on up to the plate, my man. No, man, it happens. Don't worry about it. People, you can only.
Hello, guys. Am I audible?
Yep.
Am I audible?
Yeah, we're here.
First, can I start or should I have to wait?
Of course. No, of course. Feel free to step up, man.
We can hear you. Start.
Okay, guys, I'm very sorry. I was out on a two-wheeler and I'm stuck in rain. Sorry if there is any audio.
Rite of Passion, I have muted you. I apologize, but you're going to have to find a better connection wherever you are. Or set it up some way so people can hear you. I don't ask for too much, people. We can give you a lot of, we can support you guys a lot. We just have to ask for basic little things to make sure that people, and really all it might have to be is just finding another spot for these hangouts. So Rite of Passion, I'll talk to you behind the scenes. Maybe you can get it fixed by the time, and we can kick you to the end of the hangout. But I'm unfortunately having to mute you, and we're just gonna have to cut all this out in the beginning. I hate to do this, but unfortunately, this is the problem. If somebody has low quality content when they come on here, how do you think it reflects upon your sound? We're cutting these up, right? So if somebody comes on here and they have a good clear mic and people can hear them, they're going to listen to that hangout, to that segment when it's cut up. They're not going to listen as much to yours. They're going to listen to a little bit of it and say, I can't continue listening to this. Keep in mind your audience. I understand we are going to go through these things, and a lot of people are new. A lot of them are coming in and out to talk about their tokens, and they're learning, they're getting frustrated, they're, going through all of that stuff. But we have to kind of set up a little bit of structure for this stuff, right? Now, with that said, we're going to move on to Utful if he is here. If he's here, maybe not.
Who?
Okay, so there are multiple people I'm downvoting today. I would suspect that Bride of Passion will not be downvoted. Utful has been downvoted.
I'm here, but I didn't RSVP, so.
Yeah, I know. This is not something that is how do I say this? I would rather have us talk about what I want to talk about than if somebody has an RSVP. But the thing is, people, if you want to talk about something, you got to RSVP and join these. I'm laying it out, and I can go out, and I'm going to start doing it. I'm going to start going outside of our ecosystem if I have to. But I don't want to do that if I can do it with our community, because I see a lot of valuable people here. I see a lot of valuable people who are working on things, and I'm doing some fucking amazing stuff behind the scenes. I'm getting stuff done. Other people are helping, but I'm getting it done. So I want you guys to all ask yourselves, what are you doing? Like, how can you do stuff to help this ecosystem? And how can you utilize what I'm doing to help you? Right? This is very, very simple stuff. People make a lot of money when they help. Unfortunately, for some reason, most people, how do we change things? If all you want is somebody to tell you you're going to get rich on something and you're not going to have to do anything for it, you can get really, really wealthy in cryptocurrency ecosystem if you focus on your own value proposition. So consider doing that. Consider taking the value of these communities and these hangouts that we have here. Because quite literally, these hangouts have been here for some of the most powerful things that have come to this ecosystem. So consider how you can help us, how you can help yourself. Because that's what this is here for. And I'm going to continue doing regardless of whether there's one person in this room or 150 of them or 1,500. And the people who help are going to be going, holy shit, this is wonderful. And we're getting there. But I need people to take it seriously, because I'm not going to help people who don't take it seriously. I have the resources now to help those who don't. Yep. So with that said, Robin Hood, I am going to step back, and I'm going to let you go ahead and step up and talk as long as you would like about looking for niche coin. Congratulations, you won 1,000 Beyond Bits this week.
Thanks.
You're
sorry,
welcome.
sorry
Easiest $1,000 you've ever made, huh?
Yeah, man, that's amazing.
Yeah, guys, I'm audible. I'm very sorry for this situation here.
It's
Hey,
okay.
Ryan.
Rite of Passage.
Fuzzy, how much time do I have I got?
You'll have it after you get yourself figured out. I'm going to give you some time after Robin Hood talks.
All right,
Okay,
cool.
I can still continue.
No, because you're cutting out, buddy. I don't know if you could hear me. I muted you because I thought maybe that was keeping you from hearing me. But your connection's
Yes,
really
yes.
bad.
You are audible to me. Can I continue after Robin Hood? I'm very sorry. I'm on road and I have nowhere to go. It's raining.
I'm going to mute you for a second, Rod. I'm going to put on the moderator hat and say no. I will say there is a hangout every single week. Prepare. Take an hour of your time. Get it all set up and figured out. Come on here with your game face on, with a very real potential to earn $1,000 worth of Beyond Bit. I'm not trying to be a dick here, but I am serious. If people want to see this stuff take off, we have to take it serious. And I'm putting a lot of resources, so I take this very, very serious. And I'm not just saying, you can watch it very serious. So with that said, Robin Hood, please go ahead and talk about looking for niche, buddy.
only prepared a brief
Well,
statement about
You're
Eleven
fine.
Coin, but since we have a lot of time, I might go through some looking for niche stuff as well.
Sure.
Anyway, for those not in the know, looking for niche is a community as well as a tool for finding like-minded people. The process is semi-automated. If you go onto our Discord or any other Discord that hosts Whalebot, Whaleshare, for example, is one, you can tell our Whalebot what sort of tags you like. So if you like bowling, you could write Whalebot looking for niche bowling, and and you would be able to find other people interested in bowling. And what you could do is you could create your own bowling community. And I would then promote you if you are active and you are promoting that community and you are growing it. Obviously, there might be something that is such a niche, so small that you can't really grow much right now. But even then, if you're keeping it alive, and I can see that there's something happening with your community and you're putting posts out about it and you're talking about it in your Discord and such, I'll still help promote you. And so how will I promote you? I will promote you with LFN coin, or looking for niche coin if you prefer. So LFN coin is a token on the BitShares exchange. You can, if you like, try and trade it with anything else on the BitShares exchange. That could be Whaleshares, Beyond Bits, or any of the other tokens you might find. And you can, of course, also try and trade it for BitShares. But let me start off by saying that I am not currently selling LFN coin myself. I'm only giving it away for free as a way to support communities. So just know that if you are going to buy it, I'm not currently the one selling it. I can't promise that I will never sell it. I might match market price to get more out there at some point. But right now, the only way to get them is for free by being supported by me. So what you should do is reach out to me and tell me about the community, and you might be able to get some LFN coin. Now, how will I support people? Well, what I have is something called looking for initiative, and that's a bad pun. But what it means is that I'm looking for people who has the initiative to start their own community. So let's say you wanted to start that bowling community we talked about. Well, what you would do is you would start it. You would start a Discord channel. You would invite me so I can see what's going on. And you would start, writing about it, getting other people interested. And I would support you with LFN coin. Now, when I can start powering up, and I can start doing that quite soon because I just won the intro-outro contest that Fuzzy was hosting. And by default, I suppose I also won today. So I have about 1,800 Beyond Bits that I will be... I would do a mix of selling and using them in a way to power up as fast as possible. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it ASAP. And what happens when I'm powered up? Well, the tokens will have value because I will be taking those tokens back. Maybe you would like to give me one token for an upvote. I mean, I'll try to calculate it. Initially, it might be one token equals one upvote, 100% upvote, because I don't have that much Steam power. But at some point, I will probably change it. So if, let's say, I get the doubled amount of Steam power for that, it would have to cost 2 tokens for a 100% upvote. And obviously, if I sometime a day become a whale, a long time in the future, I would do it the same way as Whaleshares are doing it. 1% equals 1 upvote. But I'm going to try and keep it at least about $0.50 upvote before I start taking the tokens, because I don't think it makes sense right now. Right now, I have about 200 SP. That would be worth about $0.05 upvote. So obviously, that's not a very good value. But that's why I'm powering up with these 1,800 Beyond Bits, which will mean that I can probably relatively soon reach $1 per 1 token. So what you should probably do is get in on the giveaways. I've been doing a couple for the very early birds. I've been doing 2. And in the future, I will do some giveaways, but I will try to focus more on directly supporting the community. So I will move away from doing giveaways for everyone. I will still do those, but to a lesser extent. And I will move towards the looking for initiative idea of promoting people who help get niches running on Steemit. And let's be honest, obviously, I will get noticed more the more your community gets noticed. But that's good for me, obviously. I'm going to admit that. But what's good for you is that with you having those tokens, well, you can, in a sense, get my upvote by giving me those tokens back. And I will keep giving you tokens if you keep growing your community. So it's sort of a win-win, maybe even win-win-win situation where you get to make friends, you get to grow a community, and you get paid for doing so. And what I get out of that, well, obviously I get noticed and I have a lot of fun building niches. And also, of course, my profile grows, let's be honest. So yeah, that's kind of what looking for niche coin is about. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat or just here on voice chat. If you're not familiar with looking for niche at all, it might be a bit confusing. I'm sorry, but I didn't get to prepare as much as I maybe should. I didn't think I would have a lot of time today.
Hey, it's fine. I'm actually going to say Robin Hutt is one of the guys who's he's edited Hangouts for us just recently when I started, because I'm starting a new initiative to open up the Hangouts to be edited by people who have their own channels and want to promote their stuff and have me promote theirs. And he won that, and he's doing the stuff for the Looking for Niche. You've been coming here for about a month and a half, actually about 2 or 3 months now, right?
No, I've only been here for 1 month, I think. Actually, today, I think I posted my first post a month ago, maybe a couple of days ago, in a month.
It was Discord that you were, it's like you've been almost 2 months now, probably 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah, maybe that's right. But I haven't been here for long. I've just been trying to learn the ropes, see what's going on, and I've been pretty fast about starting the Looking for Niche. Well, I think I was only here for maybe a week before I started the project, so it's pretty young, which also means that it's important to note. Sometimes I get questions in PM like, "Hey, why am I not finding people in this very specific niche?" Well, I'm telling people that, well, it's only been running for a little over a month, so there's a limit to how much data Whalebot can have eaten already, which he can give back to you. But there are a lot of people finding their niche already. Have been written from people saying thanks for starting this initiative, and I've been finding new friends, and I've trying to start new communities and such. So if you don't find anything in your very specific bowling in Los Angeles group, then in time, for hopefully, we will have enough people on Steemit and enough people using the Looking for Niche tool that you will begin to find those very specific niches, not just the broader ones. For example, life, that's an important, or that's a popular one. Or love, that's a popular tag. Poetry is a popular tag, for example.
So you could have poetry Las Vegas.
For example, you could do that when there's enough people. We have to consider that I believe it's only about 250,000 people on Steemit, and then there's only about 200, I would wager, people on Looking for Niche Discord right now. So, I mean, there's a limit to how much we can do currently, but we have been growing from 0 to 200 in just about a month. And it's steadily growing faster now that we have Looking for Niche Kind, because people, of course, want to get involved in getting some free tokens. And also, the more Discords that adopt Whalebot, people sort of organically begin to see that, hey, wait a minute, it has this feature. So, I mean, you don't have to necessarily be on the Looking for Niche Discord to use the tool. The reason the Looking for Niche Discord exists is so that I can keep informing everyone about what's new and what's going on. And of course, it's an easy way for you to find the people that show up in the tags. So let's say that if I go onto Whaleshares and I look for a niche, but then that person is not for any reason on the Whaleshares Discord, well, maybe he's on the Looking for Niche Discord where I can write him up. And there's channels dedicated to collaborating and promoting your niche. And of course, there's also a channel that's just called Looking for Niche Tagging, where you can just tag all day everything that interests you. And, the reason I have that channel is to not spam all the other Discord channels, Discord servers that exist, because maybe you want to tag a lot of things. If you have a whole bunch of things that interest you, but maybe for any reason, the Whaleshare Discord, for example, or maybe it could be the Steam Trail or any of the others with Whalebot, they don't want you spamming all day. You can go to the Looking for Niche Discord and just spam away the tags that you like. Please do not. I've seen some people just troll it and spam a lot of tags. I will. At some point, if it gets a problem, I will start removing people who just try to ruin the tag thing, if you will. But I've only seen about one person do that, so it hasn't really been a problem yet. I've been asked a lot about how do I moderate it and such, but it hadn't really been a problem yet. But obviously, I will begin to do that if people start using it for, I don't know, targeted harassment or something ridiculous. But I really haven't seen that. The only thing I've seen is just people finding each other and then, hey, you also like this thing. Yeah, man, I didn't know that. I will start chatting with you. So that's sort of what people are doing. And I've even had people just send me their posts in PM. I had one yesterday, sent me a post and said, hey, I see that you like gaming and you like Wolfenstein. Maybe you like my review of the new Wolfenstein game. And I'm like, yes, of course, I'll check it out. He didn't even know that I was running Looking for Niche, so I can see that there is an organic reach to the system, if you will. I'm just gonna...
real quick, I want to make it clear that the people who are going to use all this, the best way of them use your tools is because of they would have to be in Discord as well, right?
They have to be in Discord to use the tool, yes.
But Discord itself is quite a powerful little thing. I love it. I was a little slow getting there because of other reasons that were more important at the time, but it's definitely that coupled with looking for niche is definitely a very cool thing, and I see people playing with it quite often. Actually,
Yeah, man.
a
People
lot of bacon, man. A lot of bacon, Robin.
There's a lot of bacon. And I've also I've also encouraged people to get in on that niche early on, because if you, for example, I've seen some people start to tag poker, and I know there's numerous poker leagues on Steemit. I'm like, well, if you tag it now, you'll be the first one to know when other people start getting interested in poker, and you can get people involved in your poker community. So I tell people, like, if you're the first, it's not a bad thing. You're ahead of the game. You'll be showing up each time someone starts looking for poker, for example. That I think some people are not seeing that, oh no, I was looking for poker and there was no one else. That's actually a good thing for you, because now you'll be the first one and the only one showing up each time your community, someone is looking for a poker community, and you can start getting people involved that way. I have a hard time multitasking, reading the chat at the same time. So if you have any questions, ask them and just spam me a little bit.
I think my button wasn't working. I was going to say I really loved to see what different conversations that it's more of a humorous thing at this point in time. But like you said, there are people who use it very seriously. It's not always about bacon joke, and it shows that people are using. There's going to be a lot of value in that, and connecting people up with, even like you said, if they're the first person or if they're connecting up with a bunch of people. If you're the first person, you're in a great situation within Steam that's saying, hey, I've got a lot of opportunity to grow this community, and to be the person who was behind the growth of this community, or a very instrumental part in it, right? So you can help in ways, and that's extremely valuable as well. I've always liked looking for niche. I will ask you consistently if you ever hear from Trailcoin and those guys, because I still think that there's got to be some way that there's synergy there. But maybe we don't even have to try to create synergy. Maybe it's just something that people from Trailcoin will start using your tool on Discord.
Yeah, man. I think one way I see people getting in on it and understanding how it is when Whalebot starts showing up in their Discord. For example, this week, I mean, I was talking with Mackenzie Gary, I think his name is. He's has another community where he tries to get communities together. He's doing it in a different way, but he was asking if he could use the Looking for Niche tool in his Discord, and I said, yeah, of course you can. That's the whole point, getting communities together. And so all of a sudden, the people who only knew about his community, they also knew about Looking for Niche. And what they do is, I've seen people write, when they find out the command exists, they will write Whalebot Discord, and Whalebot will show you a list of a lot of different Discords that we know exist. And this means that you can start joining those, and you can, let me say it this way. What Looking for Niche does on a meta level, in a sense, is it connects every community that uses Whalebot. And this means that you can always find people from the other communities, even if they're not on your specific Discord. And I think that's a crazy thing, because it opens up a new world of having communities on top of Discord. Instead of just being one small community that's closed off to the rest of the world, all of a sudden you have a community that's intertwined with all the other communities on Discord that uses the Whalebot. And so obviously the long-term plan is that the more communities who implement Whalebot, the bigger this network grows, this sort of intertwined meta community grows. So that's what I'm saying when I say, well, Looking for Niche, the Discord in itself, only has about 200 members. But if you count all the members that are using Whalebot who are slowly finding out about the Looking for Niche tool built into Whalebot, we have a reach of 2,000 people maybe. Because we're on Whale Shares, we're in Steam Trail, we're in From the Ground Up, we're in from Steam Gigs, Minnow Booster, Steam Lab. So a whole lot of different places have adopted Whalebot already, and so more and more people will organically find out how it works. I mean, the biggest thing to entry, I think, is that people don't really understand how it works, and that's why I tell people, just go onto Discord, write Whalebot space LFN. Not elephant. I saw that in the chat. L like looking. F like for. Niche. LFN. So Whalebot space LFN space whatever niche it is, and that could be bowling. So that would be Whalebot LFN bowling, and now you will see everyone interested in bowling. Or maybe you're interested in gaming. I know that gaming is slowly becoming a pretty popular tag on here. So if you write Whalebot LFN gaming, you'll find everyone who is interested in gaming on the site, and you can start follow them, or you can start hitting them up with a PM and saying, hey, I see you're interested in gaming. I'm also interested in gaming. I want to start this gaming community. I want to start this. Maybe it's a PC gaming community. Maybe it's a competitive multiplayer gaming community. Well, you can start asking people, well, do you want to be part of that? Because I've seen you write some articles about competitive League of Legends gaming, maybe. Well, then now all of a sudden, you've semi-automatically found people who are interested in that same thing that you're interested in, and you've been connected. Now all you have to do is just write to them and say, hey man, I found you on Looking for Niche. I can see that you're interested in this, and that. I'm also interested in these 3 things. Maybe we should, find a way to help each other out, or look at each other's things, or collaborate on something, or whatever else you could probably do with the tool.
Yeah, I find myself thinking, and you haven't been here from the day that Steam started, but literally that week I was talking about community tokens, and how you could literally have tokens for tag, and each community could have their own tokens, and they could all give a little bit of their SP to that token to back it, or there's so many different things that can be done with them. But one thing that I see is that you could be one of those people who serves as a model for people in Looking for Niche, by showing them, hey, I can back my own coin by continually powering up everything I earn, and by being persistent, and maybe even joining Hangouts and potentially getting tokens from whales on here, right? So you can pretty much guarantee that if you are persistent, you're going to get a decent enough. You're not going to be like most minnows out there who are saying, oh, how do I get an upvote from a whale? This is probably one of the easiest ways of getting an upvote from a whale, is by creating projects. And by doing it here, you're pretty much guaranteed to not only get that, but also looked at by the people who upvote me. So that kind of gives people an incentive to really potentially power up themselves and talk about what they're doing, and show and kind of mimic what you're doing, right? And power it up and show that you're sacrificing to build this coin up because you want to build the community. And then you never know, after a period of time, you might find that there are certain people who really like your community, that you've been doing this for so long and that you haven't given up, and are willing to now delegate a little because they trust you. They know what you're made of. They know that you're not here just for a specific, short-term gains. You're here for long-term. And when they're more comfortable for that, then you never know what kinds of things can happen with your token, your vote token, right? So it's cool that you can show that as a kind of model to other people who might want to create their own token for their own community. Maybe it might be the bowling Los Angeles community someday, when Steam has billion users or 100 million users, but for now it might just be bowling.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, and that's sort of also what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to tell people, if you don't know how Discord works, if you don't know how you start a community, I have this thing called Looking for Initiative, because, I mean, if you feel like, hey, I have this idea, I want to start a community, but I don't really know where to start, I have no idea how Discord works. I joined Steam recently, but I generally like, being part of this niche community outside of Steam. I mean, if you like bowling, for example, but you have a hard time finding people who are interested in bowling in your area, but you want to write about that, well, I mean, it's a perfect opportunity for you to start, being an initiator of that specific niche on here. And that's why I'm trying to incentivize. I'm saying, well, not only can you use Looking for Niche tool to find people interested in the same thing, you can also get paid for doing so if you like first saying is consistent. Because if you keep building your community and you hit me up and say, hey, look at what I did, Robin, I just created this new cool thing for my community. Or maybe we got 10 new members today. Can you believe it? We were only 2 members yesterday. I don't know. It could be small things. It doesn't matter. As long as you're growing and as long as you show that you are, willing to keep going, willing to keep growing your community, and willing to keep helping others who wants to be involved in your specific community, I will keep supporting you with the Looking for Niche coin, which you can send back to me, get more upvotes for you and for your community. So it's sort of it synergizes in the way that as long as you just reach out to me and you start a community, or even ask me how I can help you start your community, I will help you by giving you more. I mean, I will give you coins for making friends and starting communities. It's a novel idea. I think anyway, and it's but it's done in a different way that we have seen before in Steemit, because there is no other tool where you hook up with people directly. There are tools where you hook up with people via what would you call it? Well, trials, for example. But that doesn't necessarily always hook you up directly with people. It just hooks you up to support a community, which is a great thing. Sort of an automized support of that, with curators and such. But you could be a curator yourself. You could be a community builder yourself, and you could get paid for it. And I know that people might be a little, maybe they don't want to do it now because, well, there's not that many other people. There's only 200 people on Looking for Niche. But the way I see it is that the earlier you start, the earlier you get to talk with me, the more time I will have to help you. The more Looking for Niche coin you can earn. And you can believe me, or you can say, well, I don't believe that Robin Hood guy. He'll just stop powering up. He won't use his beyond bid earnings on anything. But, I mean, follow my profile and see where the tokens go. I urge you to, check the blockchain, see what I'm doing. I am trying to help. I know I have to prove myself. I've only been here a month. So I guess in that sense, you don't have a reason to trust me. But you have a reason to at least trust this tool that I'm building to work, because you can see that it works. And you can see the community that I have helped to create are now, being built. Or at least you will see that soon once they are, out there in the public. So I'm not necessarily telling you to trust me. I'm just telling you to try out the tool. If you have Whalebot in whatever Discord you're in, it could be Whaleshares or Steam Trial or any of the other ones, Steam Gigs, for example. Try the tool and see for yourself how it works. That's maybe the easiest way to get an understanding of how it works and what you maybe are missing out on, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm biased, but that's just how I feel.
I seriously think they make bacon coin. It seems like something everybody friggin' loves. Like everybody, like I've seen it so often, like on separate days. It's not just one time. Maybe, just maybe, a bacon tag and a bacon coin should go together.
Absolutely, you can do that. I'll buy your bacon coins if you keep building your small community. I mean, obviously, Whaletank does this on a macro level. And you could, I hear people talking a lot about, you're copying something else and such. Maybe not me, but generally that sometimes happens in the chats that I've been in.
Who's copying what?
I mean, sometimes people feel like you talked about that earlier. Maybe not in this Whaletank. Maybe it wasn't something else. Like, sometimes there are companies trying to take an idea and just copy it and make it seem like it's their own. And I can see that why some people would think that with Looking for Niche coin in a way, because, I mean, how it's used is practically the same as any other of the tokens. Not automated like Whaleshares, but at least, I mean, the idea is all the same, but how it's issued is different. It's issued to people who keep communities alive and keep them intertwined with other communities so that you're able to find them. So it's doing a lot of the same things that maybe other kinds and other communities are trying to do, but it's doing it both on a macro and a micro level.
Yeah, I kind of talked about in the very, very early days of Steam guilds. I don't talk about it quite as much because we kind of have one already with Whaleshares, right? I mean, if you really look at the structure, it's very much similar to a guild, but it's kind of like a community meta guild, right? And how I've always is content guilds, people who are leaders in certain content areas. And if you have, a leader in bowling who coordinates an entire community around that, and they have a guild, and they create their own coin, and they can pass it out to people who help them, you're essentially, then you add a forum to that, right? Right? See where I'm going with all this stuff? Then you add a DEX on that forum. Then you add a news site that shows what's trending on that forum, and maybe shows the prices of certain things on the DEX, right? All in one page. These are the things that we can have for each community. And if you have that, now you have like an artist guild. Now you have, a singing guild. Now you have a bacon guild. I don't know what a bacon guild would do, but I'm sure it would do something, and it would probably make me laugh my ass off. But you would have, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have these different people who are experts in certain kinds of content and certain themes of content, and tokenifying that and giving that community its own source of incentivization is a pretty cool idea. I think it could be built off of this, I guess, is where I'm going with that. It's a great model if everybody replicated what you're doing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's sort of what I'm hoping.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping too. Actually, I'm kind of glad that we got a lot of time to talk about it today.
Sure. But the thing is, of course, that I'm no coder, so Alex P. Morris is the one who coded the LFN tool, for example, and you guys are the ones who are working on the forum structures on ChainBB. And I mean, I can't do those things, so I have to reach out to people, obviously, and get some help. But that sort of ties in with the whole idea of that's also what Looking for Niche is for, in a sense. I mean, you can't do anything on your own. I see people every day come into chat and say, how do I get upvoted? How do I get re-steamed? And I try to tell people, have you talked to other people? Have you chatted with them? I mean, you are in a chat right now with people that might upvote you if you just engage with them a little bit. So that's sort of what Looking for Niche is also trying to do, because all you have to do is write a tag you like, and you'll find other people that you can engage with right off the bat. You don't have to know anything about Steemit in a sense. I mean, all you have to do is know how to write in the chat, and you can get started from there. But again, I might have missed some questions in the chat. I'm looking at it right now. So I've been talking my ass off, but there hasn't been anyone else today. So I guess you might be tired of hearing it. But if you have some questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat, or just ask them here with your microphone.
Guys, am I audible now? I'm very sorry to intrude, but I just want to make sure that I'm audible.
You are indeed.
Cool, thanks.
That's what you presented to me maybe a week or two ago, right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, man, it's for sure. I sent you the link maybe a week ago or something. Yeah. I will write a link in the chats where you can all go if you want to check out the Looking for Niche Discord. Obviously, if you don't want to do that for any reason, you can also just try out Whalebot in any of the other Discords that you are probably already involved in.
Yeah, I created a loans tag and a Mr. Wing tag, but I didn't realize you had an actual Discord server for it.
Oh man, that's cool. There we go. If you click that, you will get invited to the Discord. For anyone listening, not live, you can go to bits.ly/LFN-chats. And that's LFN like looking for niche. So bits.ly/LFN-chat, and you'll get sent an invite link to join the Discord. And when you're there, just go to the channel called Looking for Niche Tagging and write in Whalebots LFN, and then your preferred interests or interest. You can do multiple if you feel like it. Just remember to do so in a separate message, else Whalebot will get confused. But I mean, if you still don't know how it really works, just check the channel out, Looking for Niche Tagging. You can see a lot of people doing it already. Just have to do exactly what they do, and you'll find out how it works. I think learning by doing is one of my preferred ways of learning myself. So if you feel like me, go and try it out, and you'll see how it works. The silence mantra have been summoned. I don't have much else to say, I gotta be honest. I don't know if Fuzzy is here and he has anything to say. Maybe he disconnected, actually. I'm not sure.
I would definitely want to speak something about my token. I hope Fuzzy is back.
RSVP anytime, buddy. Now, if that said, let's go ahead and we'll move on to Rite of Passion. He was going to talk about his coin, and he was having some technical difficulties earlier, but maybe he is... I think we've got him set up and fixed. Maybe he's able to go ahead and tell us a little bit more about what he's going to be doing with his token and the value proposition for everybody involved there.
Okay, guys, sorry for the earlier delays with my audio difficulties. But yes, now I'm going to present you my voice share token. I've been waiting to launch or give out the tokens through this Whaletank because this is where it all started. Being a minnow, I was able to come out with a token only because exposed to something like this. Now talking about my token, it's called as voice share. It is based on Voice of Steemit project that I am driving. Voice of Steemit is a project that creates a support system for all those separate souls. We intend to start with the suicide awareness pen and go on to cover lots and lots of social issues, cultural issues, and political issues across the world. So this is something that has a ever increasing scope of getting people to speak about their problems, which otherwise they feel that they would be judged. So what does this coin do? How do I intend to give out a value proposition to the coin? With Voice of Streamit and Voice Shares, I want to start. In fact, we want to start something called as contributor space. You all know that people who come out and tell the stories will be rewarded through this particular project. And contributor space is something wherein we will be offering them a space in each story, and that space will be traded with their tokens for a particular trade value, and the contributor will get to promote his project or his content through that space. So this is something wherein you don't have to buy the tokens, you can trade your tokens with our tokens and give out the buy out the initial contributor space. So with that said, we will be offering 10% of the post space and 20% of the post space. Depending on the contribution that you make to the post, all your contributions will be going to the storyteller, the person who is suffering. And this is something that creates a three-way win-win proposition. That is, we get the values to the token added that we add to the market. You get the exposure for your project. Third thing is the storyteller will get an extra bounty of rewards through you. So this is the first value proposition that I'm adding. Second value proposition is we are in talks with a few other whales who would want to, in future, back it up with an SP-driven token. See, we give them an option to use our token system and create a synergy and work with us. If they are willing to do that, it would be a fantastic thing. And if they don't, we will give them an option of lending out the SP, just like how they do, so that there is an added value to the token, that is Voice Shares. Third thing is, this is a project which will have an infinite scalability, because we touch with concepts of various things, wherein we provide a support system for people from various issues. So this is kind of a project which will have an increasing popularity as it goes on for the mere work it does. This is the third value proposition. And the fourth one is, there is always the backing of Whale Shares and Beyond Bits. You can always trade Voice Shares for Shares and Beyond Bit, and you can use it for your efforts. So these are the four value propositions that we are giving out. The important one being the contributor space, wherein you get to donate something to the project which goes directly to the storyteller, and we create a synergy between your project and our project. So it's a kind of community-driven thing. Second thing is share dropping for this particular whale hangout. See, I would be share dropping my tokens for everyone who is attending the hangout now. There is a small catch. The thing is, for me to give out the whale tokens, the Voice Share tokens, you will have to do a small favor. All you have to do is go to eostalk.io and start posting through it. For every post that you make, come back to me and say that this is the post you made through eostalk.io. You will be given out the Voice Shares. And the Voice Shares will be doubled if you keep continuously posting through eostalk.io. The Voice Shares will be tripled if you spend time on eostalk.io to find the bugs associated with and feed and report it back, so that we can correct it for a better user interface. So this way, we wanted to use Voice Shares for community building. We wanted to involve and increase the user base at eostalk.io, since it's creating a excellent value proposition for US blockchain. So this is the thing, and everyone here, I really urge you to go out and start using eostalk.io, and all my posts will be driven through the eostalk.io. So this is something that I want to put up, and hopefully, if at all, I would have loved to see people from Purity or Gridcoin being a part of it and see some value into it, because we could have created a synergy with. Yes, sir. If at all you have any questions, please ask me. I will be ready to answer those.
Okay, are you aware that the EOS forum and EOS posting is especially for EOS related tokens posts, and you may get flagged for it.
Sorry, Pat. Please repeat yourself if you don't mind.
Okay, the EOS form is for EOS related content, and your content is not EOS related, so you cannot post it through this form and use them tag for it because you will be pretty much flagged. Are you aware of this?
Let me ask you.
No, just so that people know, I have been creating guides on how to use eostalk.io. I completely agree that it is mainly for the development of EOS community, but still, we can always contribute by writing about EOS or learning about it and writing about EOS, and also we can write about our own post, if not on a regular basis, at least to increase the user base on the EOS forums from all disciplines.
Well,
but you cannot write your things. I mean, once I made the mistake that I write my thing through the EOS form and I got flagged. Are you aware of this?
No, I wasn't aware of this. I'm sorry if I was mistaken. First, can you please elaborate on this? Can we or can we not?
Here's what I was thinking as you guys are talking about this. EOS talk is the perfect place for people to consider someday making their own blockchains, like they would use a database for their own website. But they would do it for their own communities, maybe their own towns, maybe their own factory, maybe, God, I won't get into it. But if this were played as, maybe in the launch pad, saying that you have an intention and an interest in making it its own chain someday, and partnering up maybe with Metabytes, which is a chain that's going to be built on graphene by a guy that I know. It's going to be in the healthcare industry. You guys could potentially play it like that and kind of go that direction and try to garner support to actually maybe someday branch it off into its own chain, and maybe even share drop on Steam Power holders and the holders of this token, like 10% to Steam Power holders and 90% to the holders of this token for a new chain someday. I think that's a little bit longer distance, and in a year is when EOS is going to launch. I know that they've got some stuff getting ready to be put out soon, if not already out, to be playing with, but it's far from being production ready. So if you would go onto the launch pad and talk about it as you guys are supporting it, as supporting this forum, and you're supporting that, and you would like to eventually, you'd like to have people consider how this could be its own chain someday, right? I think that might not get flagged. But if you come on looking like if you're in the general chat and you come on and you say, I've got this project it really doesn't matter generally. If it's not community related on a forum, you're most likely forums etiquette going to be kicked out. Trust me, I know. I went on and tried to promote Beyond Bitcoin one time on a place that didn't apparently like cryptocurrency. So, but I think there's a way you can do it and a way that you can't, is my point. Does that
Yes, when the community is dedicated to EOS and the development of the community there, we should make an effort to reach out to the community by post about the community. But if there is something important, I still hope that we can reach out through the EOS forums.
Yeah, I'll urge you to stick with it, to continue with this. There will be things that will pop up and opportunities along the way that you didn't think would pop up. You just persist. It's kind of interesting how it works. But I definitely look forward to seeing a little bit more about it. I will say Manish asked a question above, how many voice shares for your proposal?
Can you please repeat first?
You were talking about a proposal to post something to EOS Talk.
Yes, I'll be giving out 10 voice shares for those who post through EOS Talk, and 20 if at all they continuously contribute on EOS Talk, and if it will be 30 and more if at all you spend enough time on the forums and get back with the bugs associated with it, so that we can curate it for an effective user interface.
Well, you guys heard it here, or maybe you didn't. I would like to say that today, unfortunately, Ride, you're going to have to figure something out for your project to be heard here. It's nothing against you, obviously. I love this project and I love the idea behind it. I think that it needs to evolve, but you're cutting out again. I don't know how else to say it. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to edit the shit out of this before I post it for the contest today, which makes it difficult on Fuzzy. Makes it difficult on him, even though he's got a 3-year-old he's got to pick up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So regardless, I do appreciate that you tried. Maybe I can cut off the last part. Why don't you go ahead and try to tell people how they can contact you?
Yes, they can always reach out to me on Discord. I am on all the Discords. The name is Ride of Passion there as well. Or else they can visit my Steemit blog and drop in anyone comment on any one of the posts. I'll get back with their Discord details.
Looking forward to it, man.
And I'm very sorry for today's thing. Actually, my friend is going on a world ride on his two-wheeler, starting from India and going around the world. And he was in my city and he was stuck in heavy rains. So sometimes humanity matters. So I had to rush to his support, and I tried my best to make it to the hangout this time. I'm very sorry for the inconvenience caused.
No, I'm glad that you tried, man. It doesn't always work out, and it's unfortunate for you. It's not such a big deal to me because, man, I'm in a place where I'm good. You know what I mean? At this point, like, I can actually say that now. Like, I can say that if I wanted to power down all of my Steam power and stuff and just leave and say, bye-bye Key tokens and bye-bye all that stuff, I could do that. But I like building stuff. I like helping build stuff. I don't know why I fucking like it. I do. And I like the fact that certain people step up and do amazing shit. And you know what? I'm here for you guys. So you can promote that. And we're even creating Beyond Bitcoin radio station, okay? So you're going to have the ability eventually to maybe even get in here for your own hangouts and get onto the network and get support for me to actually maybe even help pay editors to help you edit it, or pay you to just edit stuff and do it. There's a lot of stuff that we can do with this. So if you guys are stepping up, you're going to see that you get rewarded. I want to help you guys shine. So let's do it, right? Let's fucking do it. And thank you guys very much for joining up today. And I'll say this. We started out with 3 people. We go on a curve, right? Like it's like a stock market or a cryptocurrency market. And there are certain times when a community is new. So I don't fault anybody who's new for missing something or having a technical problem. I am here to help you guys to make this content as good as possible for you, for those who listen to you. And now that I have the resources to do it, we can do that for you. So if you have a couple pieces of basic equipment, like a headset or a high quality microphone, it's got to be like at least $80. There might be some out there for like 50, or maybe a headset for 50 or $30 or something like that, or a headset, right? You're going to need one of those, and you're going to want to make sure you're in a place with a strong internet connection. It doesn't have to be extremely strong, because Mumble requires very little compared to pretty much everything else out there that compares to. But even with that, you want to be in a place where when people are listening to you, they understand what you're talking about. They know what you're talking about. They are interested enough to say, I would like to go and talk to this person about maybe a value proposition that I'm coming up with in my head, right? Because that's what we're doing. We're throwing out a net into the ocean. So other fish like us see like all the pretty things and come to us, and we're like, okay, now we have a bigger school of fish, right? And now we can send these messages to those fish, and they'll go, oh yeah, I like that. I agree with. Or they'll say, oh no, and we'll go, okay. We learned from the market they don't like that idea, right? But we cast those nets. So let's add some sparkly things to them. Make what you do a sparkly thing, and make sure that you keep up with it. Talk about the struggles. Don't worry about it. We're going to go through struggles here, and I can't help everybody. I've got limited resources, which is why you guys see me building tools more than anything, or getting tools built rather more than anything. Because that's the way I can leverage it to help the most people. But use those tools. They're here. It's okay, Ride of Passion. I'm really glad every week that I see a bunch of people who are nerds about cryptocurrency, who just might change the fucking world. Okay, and with that said, I'm sorry for cussing, but I'm serious about it. And we'll go ahead and we'll end the whale tank for this. But congratulations, Robinhood, by default. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'll tell you guys the same thing that I tell Robinhood. The people who do the competitions, I'm going to be doing competitions every week. I'm going to be distributing a lot of tokens. And these tokens are actually quite valuable. They're probably actually one of the best damn value propositions on Steemit, if not the best. And there's a reason why our community is damn near the strongest, and why I've been kicked out of Slack probably by Ned. Because some people don't understand synergy, but we've created real synergy, and we can build shit. So let's do it. See you guys next week.
You've been listening to the Beyond Bitcoin Whaletank. As a reminder, our Whaletank Hangouts start every Friday at 3 p.m. Universal Time. Be sure to follow the Beyond Bitcoin tag on Steemit, as well as our Hangout host Official Fuzzy for the latest Whaletank updates. From all of us here at the Beyond Bitcoin Whaletank, we want to thank you for being a part of the discussion.